everybody know that the Packers got blew the Chicago Bears out, but I'm hearing about this. I ain't see the game, but I'm hearing about Danny Trevor dirty cheap shot on Davante Adams. I ain't see it, but I want to check it out and see was it really dirty. You know what I'm saying? Because it's football. Anything goes. You know what I'm saying? Well, not anything within the rules. So let's check it out and see if it was dirty or not. Oh, ooh. Oh, no. Oh, man. They call that, come on, man. I don't think that was, he ain't know, man. He ain't know. He was just coming over. If I'm coming at you trying to tackle you down, I ain't thinking about, oh, I'm going to keep my head away from you. Nah, I'm coming in trying to get you the best way I know how. I'm trying to make this team. I'm trying to stay on here and keep getting this money. So if you're going to fine me for that, then now I'm going to play scared. Now, what if he just broke loose and went and scored a touchdown? You going to be mad at me because I ain't tackling him. I ain't. So let's see what First Take got to say about this. You know? What First Take got to say about it? Stephen A. Smith. And you know he crazy. He gonna say he should get fined, all types of stuff. Let's hear what he got to say.
Stephen A., should he be suspended?
I think he should, but I want to express why. First of all, he was class personified after the game. I certainly don't believe that he's a dirty player. I believe that he's sincere in that. I believe that he's sincere in terms of just trying to make a play, and he certainly wasn't trying to do that level of harm. It's not about his intent. I don't think he had malice intent. You know, he's a defender, and you definitely want to place a lick on somebody. But I certainly don't believe that he meant to knock the dude out, have him carted off on a stretcher with us questioning and wondering whether or not he was going to be able to move any of his extremities or anything of that nature. I'm not going to accuse Danny Trevanthan of doing something like that. What I will say, however, is because of the rules that have been implemented by the National Football League, because of their fixation on safety and beyond, and how they've been on these guys about monitoring those hits and watching themselves, you have to send a message that this is the kind of stuff that we're focusing on, this is the kind of stuff that we're trying to prevent, and this is the kind of stuff that we simply can't tolerate, regardless of your intent. And that's why I believe that the suspension is apropos, because you want to provide some strong level of deterrence to make sure that every measure possible is exhausted to avoid seeing and witnessing what we saw and witnessed last night. It's not about Trevanthan. I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on him at all. I'm simply saying that the league being the way that it is, the culture that presently exists, you simply want to do everything you can to avoid something like this transpiring, and that's why you have to make the call to suspend him, in my estimation.
Got to suspend him. It's got to be a harsh penalty here. The whole point in the rules change in the offseason is for a case precisely like this, a point that was made. You can see it on the front page. If it's still on the front page of ESPN.com right now, it's exactly right. That's the point of the rule. Look, football, it seems as though, and I've made the argument many times, hey, if you can weaken your opponent going forward by putting a lick on the guy's ribs, and so you know a rib is injured, and so you go after it and you weaken him like a body shot in boxing, go do it. That's the nature of a full contact sport. Think about it more carefully, though. It doesn't have to be the nature of football. The idea in football is you want to stop the forward progress of the ball. One of the tactics you have for doing that is violence, right? But that doesn't mean that the league can't look at it and regulate the violence in such a way that it's minimized. It's not like boxing where the whole point is to cause a concussion in your opponent, a sport that I cover and broadcast. That's not the point of football. It's that violence is a tactic to achieve an end in football. And you can regulate those tactics if you're the league, and they're trying to. If a player's all wrapped up and his forward progress is already done, and essentially like it's time for the whistle to be blown, I know you're supposed to play through the whistle, but that doesn't mean lower your head and try to hurt the guy, which was clearly what happened here.
It is clearly what happened,
They have to take care of it. Because what's going to happen to football, the number one threat that football faces, and it faces several, but the number one challenge is the effects of physical trauma, especially head trauma, especially as it relates to CTE. And the league has been reactionary about it. They haven't been out in front of it. It's a good time to get out in front of it. I will remind everybody that my favorite sport, boxing, has been marginalized because it didn't address the violent nature of itself early enough, soon enough, actively enough. Maybe there is no way to fully address it in boxing. UFC blew up MMA precisely as a result of Dana White running toward regulation instead of away from it. I know it seems very violent, but the UFC really puts a lot of thought into how to lessen the impact long-term of the violence in the sport on the athletes. I mean, a lot of thought goes into that, and it helped the popularity of the UFC. Stephen A., the Disney Corporation understands this, because really the NFL's threat comes from the fact that football is supposed to be family entertainment. That's the way it's marketed, right?
Right.
And we are a law of nations. I bring it up all the time, but what Disney understands, a great company, is that we're a nation of families. Americans value families. And if the sport gets to a point, and I already have friends who are wary of letting their kids watch football because of this. If the sport gets to the point that families that are not comfortable saying it's family entertainment, the NFL is in a lot of trouble, particularly because the NBA, for example, which is growing very fast, has no such problem. This is the reason the rule is in place, to stop plays like this. The play occurred anyway. You use the rule now. Severe penalty, including suspension.
Man, look, you can't be severe penalty people, because that's just gonna take it away. You're making the game gonna get it softer and softer and softer if you continue to penalize him for that. Because I feel like he was just trying to get him down. You know what I'm saying? It looked like that to me. Because if I was in that situation, I probably would have tried to do the same thing. My head went down and it shouldn't have. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you ain't paying attention to your head. So, and the next time, so if I get fined for that, I'm another player and I see that, I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna go in there. They're gonna fine me. Shoot, that's like $100,000 check for each game. No, man, I ain't trying to get that. So I'm probably just gonna let him go past me, or try to get him down softly. And if he break me loose, oh well, then so be it. Then I'm gonna get cut because they say I can't tackle. All right, man. Let me know what you think about this. All right, if you like it, hit that subscribe and like button for me. Peace.